welcome to another episode on Yinka's Meals. Yay! How have you guys been? It's been a minute. I think I've been gone for 2 weeks or a week. I'm not sure. Apart from the fact that I was a little bit down, I had some, should I say, mental health issues. I just needed time, I needed to take time off. And I think it's been one of the things I've actually been struggling with, like as a content creator. Is it advisable to take time off? A lot of times when we look at when it comes to creating content, the number one thing that is always on everybody's mind is consistency, be consistent and everything. Anyway, it's something I will talk about much later, but it's good to be back. Hopefully I won't need to take any more breaks. So welcome back, guys. Yay, I resumed work. I think probably that's what, just added to it, the stress of work. Transportation has been crazy. The price, man, is it doubled or quadrupled? If there's a word like that. I think there's a word like that. Yeah. It's actually increased. So things have been very, very expensive. But it's actually good to be back here. I miss you guys. But more importantly, guys, the truth is, even if I'm not, even when I'm not even when I'm not talking about a new episode, or even when an episode is not out, I'm always working behind the scenes, thinking about how I can make the show better, content I can create, things I can do. So guys, rest assured, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the long haul. So how's your week been? If you're in Nigeria and you have resumed work, how's it been? I would like to hear from you, because transportation has been crazy. And if you're still working from home, I envy you guys, those extra hours of sleep. So anyway, I'll just delve into what I want to talk about today. Today I'll be talking about expectations, and I would really like to, something I've actually been thinking about. I actually called it, in my mind, I was like, this thing called expectation, what I want to talk about. And then after I did a couple of research, I tried to make it more SEO friendly related. The psychology of expectations and how having them might be hurting to you. I know that we have all been in a place where we have all been expectant. Even when you go to church, when your pastor is preaching, your pastor tells you, be expectant. Know that as God is moving around, God is going to touch you. Be expectant of this miracle. You have to be, they would even tell you that before you have to receive something, you have to be expectant of that thing. Sometimes you see some pastors, they will say, when a lady is when a woman rather is trusting God for the fruit of the womb, and she has prayed about it, they will tell you that to be expectant, act in faith. Acting in faith also means expectations. And then if we look at it in the concept of relationships, they will tell you to manage your expectations. Don't allow your expectations to be too much, in your partner or in the particular person that you are looking for. Manage your expectations. Don't ask for too much. Don't kinikon for too kinikon. Expectations actually comes in almost every time in our lives. Sometimes it might be in your relationship with a friend, and something you're just expectant. You expect this particular person to treat you a certain way, maybe because for some reason or the other, you consider yourself to be very, very important in this person's life. Sometimes expectations can be, is it myopic right now? Or expectations can be blinding. So you have someone, maybe you look up to the person, or the person is your friend, and somehow for some reason you have just particulized yourself. You have looked at yourself and you just feel that you are so important in this person's life, and so somehow you just expect that this person should treat you with so much regard and so much honor. And then maybe there's a circumstance or there's a situation that happens, and this person is actually meant to show you what you have been expecting, that when it comes to this person is going to treat me like this. And then it happens, and then the person does not treat you that way, and then you become disappointed. We see all this kind of scenarios when we go for Owambe. We call Owambe in Nigeria parties. When we go for parties in Nigeria, particularly weddings, and they are sharing food and drink. Particularly these people that are sharing food. You see some people they just believe in their mind that when I go and meet this auntie like this, she will just give me this food, she will just give me what I want. It's an expectation. We already believe that this person cannot look down on me. It's also an expectation. You believe that I'm the sister, I'm the bride sister now. My sister is one getting married, so of course when I get there like this and I tell them that, oh, before I even talk safe, you already know that it is me. That's also an expectation. You write an exam, you expect that, or you're going to get an A, because you look at all your effort that you have put into it, and just like, surely I'm going to get an A. And maybe by some luck or whatever, maybe not luck right now, maybe what if something just happens and you don't actually get an A, you become disappointed. And that's where I'm going to expectations, this thing called expectations. I try to bring different scenarios for us to be able to say that, okay, yes, I've experienced this. We have all been, if we are being truthful, I want to believe that we have all been at the other side of the road or at the other side of the stick where we expected something and it didn't come true. I can give a lot of scenarios. There are instances where maybe you just finished school, you're expecting a job, and you told maybe your relative, like an uncle or an aunt, and like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you a job. You just finished service year. Everything is fine. And then you finish service year, and they begin to reach out to the uncle, reach out to the uncle. And the uncle does not, get back to you. That's an expectation that's been dashed. So there are a lot of scenarios. Personally, I remember a time when I was interning and when I finished my internship and I reached out to some of my former bosses and they're like, oh, don't worry, Inka, I'll get you a job. And then I finished school and I reached out to these people, and then it now becomes story. It becomes like, story. Sometimes your conversations or your call will just enter voicemail. You reach out to these people continuously and they will not get back to you. Sometimes it's the fact that you want money. Somebody has promised you money, and then you reach out to this person and then the money does not show up. Okay. So if you have listened to all these scenarios I've given, I'm sure there are other things that are popping in your head right now. And you know that you are sincere enough to say that, okay, I've been at this end, I've experienced something like this. So that's not to say that expectation is a bad thing. No, expectation is actually a good thing. But how do we manage our expectations? Because we have all had our hopes dashed. In the coming weeks, I'm hoping to do a podcast, about heartbreaks and relationship or heartbreaks. And why I'm talking about that, because there's a particular day I was coming back from work and I was just thinking about my past relationships, and I was thinking about, it also has to do with expectations but in a different angle. I was thinking about the fact that when relationship breaks up, when you and someone you break up, you're no more interested in each other anymore. Apart from the fact that you're hurt, your expectation has also been dashed. Like, your hope has been dashed. You had something, like when you decided to be with this person, you had an end game in mind. And if for some reasons your end game didn't happen, you are leaving disappointed. And for some reasons, for some reason, the very fact that your expectations didn't come to pass might even want to make you maybe hold on to that relationship in hope that maybe it might come back, or in hope that things will get better. So how do we manage all these our expectations? The other day, that was last week, was it last week or yesterday? Anyway, last week, because yesterday was the last week. I saw a tweet on Twitter, and I don't know if you also saw it too. And the person was talking about the fact that, she just did internet in a flat. She just moved in like maybe a couple of months into a flat. And then she did internet for a building and everything. And then a neighbor, came to say hi, and then saw her doing her internet. I was like, oh, you have internet, was Wi-Fi. And the neighbor asked for the password. And so, willingly and everything, she gave the neighbor a password for her Wi-Fi. A couple of months passed, and there was one evening she was coming back from work. She was trying to get into her house, and then she saw her neighbors, the man and the wife. They were trying to get into the apartment, and then that was just with her that, oh, I already have Netflix. So she's like, oh, really? That's good. And she was like, oh, can I have your password so that since you already have Netflix, I can just have your password and I can watch. And then the wife just, from where the wife was in the car, she just shouted, no, don't give her the password and everything. And the woman was like, she was hurt. When she got into her apartment, after she just changed the Wi-Fi password, and then the neighbor could not log in anymore. And then they came to meet her that, oh, we cannot log in into your internet again. She was like, oh, but you guys didn't give me your Netflix password. I know that might sound petty, but if we paid attention to the story, we'll see that expectation came into play. Somehow this lady expected that, okay, because I was able to give you my password, she just expected. It's just like, there's something that you just know. sometimes you just expect that, is this person, and they should be able to come through for me, is this person, and they should be able to do this for me, and then you just feel like that. Then it now happens, they could not now come through for you. So that was like this case now. This did not give this lady a Netflix password, and so she blocked them from using internet. And that's just give a different scenario. So how do we manage our expectations? I can't particularly tell you how to manage expectations. I know that when it comes to goals, motivational speakers and life coaches and life experts will tell you that we should make our goals smart. They should be specific, they should be measurable, they should be attainable, they should be time bound, and all the likes. They give us all those things. And I feel that maybe one way or the other, it might particularly also apply to our expectations. Of course, our expectations will differ, but I feel like most importantly, it's always best for us to manage them. How we manage them will now depend on what are the things that we're expecting from our partner. So we want the loving partner. Do you want the kind of partner that will bring the moon down, if that was possible? Or do you want the kind of partner that will serve us breakfast in bed? I'm just giving scenarios right now, examples right now. It depends on your kind of expectations that you are looking for. Expectations does not also mean that you don't also have goals, So I just thought about something now. So maybe you're expecting that I want to write this exam and I want to pass. That's your expectations. Your goal should also be that, okay, you have to also work towards it. You don't have to not say that, because I don't want to go and expect too much, or so that I don't get disappointed, or so that I don't get heartbroken. You don't put in the required effort. So that's it. So you don't say that because you don't want to get disappointed, you don't put in the required effort. So irrespective of the fact that whether you are going to get disappointed or not, as long as you have expectations, you also have to be ready to put in the required effort, needed to achieve that goal, or needed to make the expectations to be met, especially if it is something that is coming, from your own angle, like it has to do with you. Another thing that has to do with expectation is that you can't say that, we can't control everything. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We can't control everything, and managing expectations, can always be sideways, like left and right. It can turn good, it can turn bad. So if the expectations I'm expecting to happen is dependent on person B for it to be able to come to fruition, then I have to also be flexible, in my expectations, because I have to understand that, okay, this person might come true for me, this person might not come true for me. I remember when I was talking to my elder sister, I think like 2 years back or 3 years back, and we were talking about traveling, relocating, and that I was telling her that, I was telling her that, okay, this particular goal of mine is actually dependent on this person. If this person comes true for me, then I'll be able to do what I have to do. It was just a conversation we're having, and one of the things that she said that was very, very profound was the fact that she said that, one of the things that she said that was profound rather was that you cannot, be dependent on somebody else for a goal that you have set for yourself. It's just like your expectations. You cannot be dependent because you cannot control that person. So that person is like a wild card. Do you get? They might eventually come true for you, and they might not eventually come true for you. So the truth is that whether they come true or not, you just have to keep on doing what it is that you're doing. And that's what I was trying to say, that expectations can either go bad or good. It's actually easy to make expectations. It's because especially come from a place of trust anyway. So maybe over time this person has, done something, or maybe based on your relationship with this person. I feel that at the end of the day, it's important to remember that while certain things might be in our control, other things are not going to be in our control, and we should always be aware of that. We should always be aware of our wild card. The wild card that anything can change. You're not in control of this person. You're not in control of this entity, so anything can happen, and because anything can happen, we should always give room for that. How accountants will say miscellaneous when they tell them to give a list of everything that they have spent. Okay, I bought rice, I bought beans, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Then they will not write miscellaneous, because they are making room for miscellaneous, that anything can happen. So I feel that when it comes to managing our expectations, we should always give room for our wild card. Things that might happen that might be beyond our control is always very, very important to pay attention to that. Anyway, I hope this makes sense. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe. You guys have a YouTube channel, so please subscribe. I would also like to know how you guys have managed your expectations in the past. Was it something that you struggle with? Another thing I would quickly like to say is that managing your expectations is not just like a one-time thing. It's going to be a continuous thing, because we're always going to be having relationships with people, and as much as we're having relationships with people, we would always have to continuously work on managing our expectations, so that we don't get hurt. Because at the end of the day, that's what it just leads to. When your expectations are not met and you're disappointed or you're hurt or you're heartbroken, everything just, in fact, at the end of the day, everything just leads to your health. Your mental health is disturbed. You have trust issues and everything. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Okay, I'll definitely see you guys next week. I hope this has been fun for you. I hope I'd really like to hear from you. And I hope that when you listen to this, you can actually relate to different scenarios and experiences that we have shared. Subscribe, listen, send me a voice note. I'd like to hear from you guys. Have a blessed week, guys. Cheers. Bye.